Put it on, girl. Let me see it. Put it on, girl. Let me see it.
Hello, welcome to Accidentally Informed, the show where
we can't guarantee you'll learn something, but you just might.
It's so awkward. We need to make that cooler.
Okay. We can't pontificate on the learnings of the day. But we're
maybe I just say hi, I'm Claudia, and you say American, then you go the show where, and you say it all. I don't know, but I always feel like I'm lame when I say it.
No, it's okay. Informers, you tell us, because y'all have been hanging out here for a minute. Anthony, King, Abrasix, Los Lounge, our people. Yeah, we've seen y'all in the comments getting it nice and warmed up for us. We appreciate that.
Man, oh, who left the Dems? KJP, Karine Jean-Pierre. Did she leave? The former White House press secretary? Did she leave the Democratic Party? Is that true?
She left the Democratic Party.
I don't know. I'm just assuming the news is just like people just like giving us information on our feed here. Hey, where's A2T? He AT. I always say it wrong.
AT2.
AT2. He does great. He's the one that really, got a lot of people to come over here. And so did Tisa in Armand. So we are welcoming guests to come hang out with us. What's going on, friend? You look lovely as usual.
Oh, well, thank you. As do you. I said when you came on, you look like Malibu Barbie.
I'm so reddish brown. Like, and people meet me in person, they go, "That's a real color. Like, you're not spray tan." I'm like, "No, this is my real color."
I mean, gorgeous. You're the Claudia Jordan.
Well,
I am doing well. It's actually my 9th wedding anniversary.
Today?
Yes, today.
Oh my God, what are you guys gonna do? You gonna get some?
It's so uneventful for people to hear when you're married. Everyone's just kind of like, yeah, we get it. You're married. You're like doing stuff. But yeah, so we actually had 2 weddings. We had the actual legal ceremony, which was 9 years ago today. And then in July, we went with our close family and friends and had the actual like big shindig wedding in Mexico. So we celebrate twice, but this is the legal one.
Wow, 9 years. Wow, when you get to 10 years, all that alimony stuff goes out the window.
Oh my God.
Check. I'm just saying, just in case. Anthony, hey, you better act right, sir. My friend.
He's going to be like, yeah, I'm going to get alimony from her. Watch. No, I'm just kidding.
Y'all look cute. I love it. Oh, congratulations. Happy anniversary.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we're going to do dinner tonight. So I'm excited about that.
Do you do anything special? Like, are you going to do you have like lingerie? And do you do any of that stuff? Or was that year 2, 3 boring? Is it like 9? Is it harder to come up with things?
Yeah, I mean, so he gave me my gift. He got me a tomato plant.
Excuse me?
I'm so excited about this.
Explain. There's got to be a backstory.
I have been wanting to start to garden. And so he set up, I mean, it's not just like a little plant. He set this up for me. So I can start growing tomatoes and then I'll add like cucumbers and all of that. But we really don't do like the big gift thing because it's just not really,
y'all do it throughout the year. Yeah, y'all do it throughout the year.
Yeah. And I'm not like
and all your things in your house.
Yeah, I think the big ticket item, the bags and stuff like that, like when you've been together for this long, it's like those things tend to be things you pick up at the store anyway, So
she's like, Chanel bag. That's a regular Tuesday. Now for my anniversary, I would like a tomato plant.
I did not say Chanel. I just said things like that are things that you're like, oh, we're out. Like, let's get a cocktail. Let's do a little shop, something like that.
What's your favorite designer bag? Like if you dream bag, what would it be?
I have to be honest. I do not have a dream bag.
Oh, you're not a bag girl?
No, I like them. I think they're really pretty. But about 10 years ago, he used to get me the bigger items like a Louis or, Gucci, something like that. But I don't use them.
Got you. I'm not a big bag girl either. I have the same stuff for a very long time. Like if I do buy one, I did a photo shoot today, right? And I was like, okay, I don't really wear a lot of closed toe shoes anymore because they just mess your toes up. So I put on some Louboutins. They're like they're super high ones, right? Black patent leather.
Mhm.
So case, whatever. I had them since 2016. No, I'm sorry. 2014, when I was on Atlanta Housewives, I was like, I guess I should buy some designer shoes. And I've had them since. I just had the bottoms. I just get the red done over and fix the heel.
Mhm.
They're in mint condition. They're so uncomfortable.
So uncomfortable.
And I have not, I just don't buy that stuff anymore. I just buy cheap, comfortable, open toe shoes from Fashion Nova. Let me tell you something.
Girl,
and they work.
Let me tell you about bougie economics, okay? Because when it really comes down to it, if it's just changing over, you know, you don't want to wear the same things. Like I've been doing Rent the Runway since 2015, 2016. Because it's one price for the month. And then you can go through, like I go through like 20 looks a month.
Really?
Yeah, most of my clothes are not, I don't own most of my clothes because I just rent them and then I send them back and I get something else. And then it's kind of like a loyalty thing. So like this dress is Rent the Runway. I think it retails for like $500 or $600. It's brand new. I just realized what was hitting me. It has the tag on it. I even have the tags on things that I'm renting. So it's a lot of the stuff I get is brand new. And
you know, I respect you for saying that because I kind of, when I do the show with Carlos and Dustin on Mondays, I sometimes talk about some of the housewives posturing about wealth that they may or may not have and renting clothes, which there's nothing wrong with renting clothes and admitting it and being open about it. But when you pretend and then use those luxury items to look down your nose at someone else, that's when I'm like, that's not cool. Then I have to clown you. But I think that's a very smart idea to just do that because a lot of times you're wearing that thing 1-2 times, once really, put the picture on Instagram or an event and you're like, you get shamed, God forbid, if you wear the same thing twice, which is, sorry, my ex is calling me right now.
Hey, KJ.
Hold on. Hey, sir. In the middle of the podcast right now. I have you on speakerphone.
Yeah. Don't you know what time it is, sir?
Sorry.
See,
I just wanted to let you know, though, that I got that phone for you that's got that, you know, that information that you need.
Oh, what information would that be?
I think it's that old BlackBerry phone from back in the early 2000s, back when, you knew that dude that's going through it right now.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about it. That's a great segue to when we talk about that first story. Yes. Well, thank you, Fran. Well, maybe I need to get the phone from you today, probably. Okay.
Okay.
Are you in my neighborhood?
No, I'm not. We'll bring it to you today.
Thanks. Bye.
Right.
Bye. Hey, Bestie.
Not a call from your ex in the middle of the podcast with intel.
Back when we were together, he would be setting up my computer and the lights and everything, and he would know exactly. But I guess he's like forgotten because we're not together anymore. But we're like the best of friends. So, with leads, Christine R. Is it true that Floyd Mayweather bought Claudia some designer shoes once upon a time? Yes and no. It wasn't from me. It wasn't because he was trying to get at me. Real quick story. There was a girl he was interested in. My friend was his assistant, and she was getting flown private to Vegas just by herself from LA. So my friend was like, I would love to see you. You want to hop on and like you and your best friend Annie could come? I'm like, hell yeah. We don't threaten me with a good time. So we were the +2s. We were just the +2s. So he wanted to he was like, hey, take them shopping tomorrow. He wasn't even there. And no one told us what our budget was. Like they didn't say like what we can or can't. We just went to like a Neiman Marcus or something. And Annie, of course, love her. You know, Annie, she tried it. She's like, where's the fur section? And she went, she tried to get a fur. She will try it. Listen, she had a fur coat and she was like, I like this. Girl, I look at the tag, $50,000. I'm like, so my friend Kichi, rest in peace, she was like, I think that's a little higher than the budget. Or that, we're allowed it because we're not the girls he was getting at.
Right.
With someone else that he liked. So because he liked her, we benefited. So I got a couple pairs of Louboutins. One pair was like $2,500, the covered in crystals. And the other one was this other pair of shoes I never wore, a leather jacket. I think I got like 3 things.
Oh, wow.
And I think it added up to be like maybe like $5,000 or $6,000 or something like that.
Hey,
Not bad for the plus twos.
It really isn't. I have enjoyed being a +1 or +2. That's how a lot of my stories are just based on being the wing woman. You know, I love to be a good wing woman.
Hell yeah, I love it. There's perks. You don't have to, and thank you, Floyd, for that. He never hooked, like him and the girl didn't hook up like that. Like he's just like, he liked her. It was just a crush. Nothing ever even happened. And that was that. And I was like, yo, good looking out, cuz.
Yeah.
I am.
I love it.
I'll be the cousin. I'll be the homegirl. Okay.
That's a great role. It's very understated. I mean, people don't understand it, but I'm like, it's everything.
Yeah, because the things I picked things that I would never buy because they were like a bit, like they were kind of like a little over the top, like fashion-wise. But I have them. They're beautiful. And I definitely, like, he didn't have to do any of that. And that was very kind of him. Like that's, you know, that was really nice of him to do that. And I don't think we went back private though. We went there private, but I think we went commercial. But so what? We had the whole plane to ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, we was like Instagram, you know what I mean? It was fun. Oh, to be young again. So
I love it.
The phone call that just came in from the ex. I was talking to Armand Wiggins the other day, and he was telling me about some of the stuff on trial and how he didn't think Mia was a really good witness, that she didn't seem credible. But I was like, listen, the time when I had interaction with him, I met him one time. Well, I met him once, and then he got my number and was going to
talk about Diddy.
Yeah, Diddy. I'm sorry. The parties that were going on after the BET Awards 2007. And that's the only reason why he asked my number. Like he was going to tell me whatever parties. And during the show, he texted me, invited me backstage and my best friend at the time also to have a drink. And I went back there and we took pictures. I had my hand on his face. He's like hugging me. Looking back, of course, now in this environment, it looks very suspicious. Like you can't see us from the waist down. So it looks like I'm on his lap. Absolutely never sat on his lap. Anyways, I met him. Patti LaBelle. I took pictures with LL Cool J, Kim Kardashian. I met a lot of celebs back when I had the disposable camera. I uploaded it to a disc. I had it developed, and I uploaded it to my MySpace. Put it in my slideshow of all the people I met. He was just one of like 20 people, right? He never called me that night to tell me where his party. I didn't see him that night. The next day, I wake up to a gang of text messages. Baby girl, why are personal pictures on media takeout? I said, what's media takeout? He's like, it's a blog. Call the owner. Gave me the bat line, Fred. That's how we became friends. And he was going off on me for my pictures being our pictures. But I'm like, they're not private. Like me and you weren't having a moment. There was lots of other people in your trailer. It was me, you, your friends, my friend. Pictures of the twins were up there. Anyways, so this motherfucker blew me up so many times, was like harassing me 57 times. So I was telling Armand, you may not believe a lot of her testimony, but how she's describing the way he gets very manic and will get, like he was going through all the emotions, like mad, then happy, then pissed off. I'm like, are you on coke? Because that's what it was giving.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it was giving like drugs, like high, low, intense. So he hit me like 57 times. And at one point I called my publicist friend at the time. And I said, don't say nothing. I'm going to call you on, I'm going to patch him in on three-way and we're going to call. I called him and he was like, I was like, why are you tripping? And he threatened me on the phone and said something like, you know, if I think you do this on purpose, I will have you, I'll make you disappear. And I was like, what? So anyways, this is before I heard he was like a killer or like that, you know, allegedly that he would like make you disappear. So I was like, yo, fuck you. I don't give a shit who you are. Like I pushed back. And then nobody said after I said that. All right. What you wearing? So this was during the BlackBerry times. I had that phone with all those text messages in it and my battery wouldn't charge anymore. So I took it to Sprint at the time. And they were like, we can't transfer your messages and your phone numbers, your contacts, because the port that you charge it takes a charge was compromised. So I was telling Armand the story. He's like, you got to find that phone. You got to find that phone, because it's just like, not that I'm going to be a witness. I don't want to be a witness. I don't want to be in the trial. Let me just make it clear. But like just a key for me in mind, like, look, it's exactly the way they're describing his personality. Right.
Right.
So anyways, I found the phone, I think. And KJ, I was like, hey, the battery. So he called me today and said, I got it fully charged. So he has the phone. and I'm gonna go through and see the text message and see if they're there. So, and, it's been like
Wow.
that was like 2007. So that was a long time ago.
Wow. Yeah. No, it, I
What should I do?
I'm trying to come up with something. It's interesting how you kind of like correlate things that you've heard or seen or experienced as the trial's going on, because I've told this story and some of this audio, I don't know why people are like digging this up, but I've interviewed Diddy before and a few times. And one of the times, sorry.
What was your experience?
Well, the first time I was either 19 or 20.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a phone interview and I was an intern at the radio station. So I was like very much like a 19 or 20-year-old girl, like, oh my God, it's Diddy. Like, I don't even, if you hear my voice, I sound like I am 13 years old, which in hindsight, so yeah. So he was coming to Chicago and there was a party and he's like, we'll come to the party. And I'm like, I'll be there. So I go to the party with one of my girlfriends and we go up. There was somebody else there. I won't even bring them into it. But there was somebody that was with him, a famous person.
Rapper?
What?
A rapper?
No, it wasn't a rapper. And
informers, do you want a hint on who it is? I think the informers want a hint. Give us a hint.
This person has had public battles as well. Not this type of public battle, but like public battles. So so I go to the VIP section. That's where they're at. And then as we're approaching, it's the top of this stairwell. It was this place called E2, which unfortunately had this really tragic stampede that happened and a lot of people died. This was like a few months later. And so there was a very steep stairwell. And so we were coming down the stairwell and they were just like pushing people down the stairs. And there was this little cove in the stairwell and somehow we were just in the right place at the right time. So we got pushed into the cove. So we weren't like, in the stairs. And they cleared the stairs out. And so when they cleared it, his entire team is going out to the back alley where there was a line of cars. So we just walk out behind everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So when we got outside, it's like, it's cold out, it's Chicago. We don't have our coats. And we're standing there, we're college students, like 19, 20. And he rolls down the window and says, are you coming? Are you coming with us? And I was so scared, not because of, anything that we know now. I was just a very late bloomer. So like the idea of getting in a car with a dude, especially somebody like that, was like very overwhelming to me. My friend was even later of a bloomer. So we're like two virgins standing there. And my response was, no, I'm not a whore. Sorry. And I said that. That was my response. And then they just took off. And so we're standing in this alley and we're jumping up and down because this is like the most exciting thing that's happened to us like ever. And so we walk to the front of the club, go to coat check, get our coats and leave. But that was my Diddy story. And I'm just thinking like how different all of that could have gone. And I want to make it very clear when I say that, I do not think that the women involved were whores. I'm not saying that. Yeah, like it was just that was my response. Like, oh no, I wouldn't get in the car with someone,
Right. Well, plus when a guy after get in his car and you don't know him, it's always weird.
Yeah, and it just, there was something about it, not to correlate the two. It just made me. I remember my heart pounding so fast. Like, do you do this or do you not? And I was like, I can't do this. Like, I wouldn't even have known what to do once I got in the car.
And he seemed nice, right? I mean, you don't go that far in the business, in the world without having some ability to be charming or
yes.
Because before, like he got my number because he was being charming and cool in public. There's plenty of abusers though that we all know that are amazingly cool to their boys, but they're a nightmare to their women behind closed doors.
Yeah.
About a year or two later, I'm at Howard's homecoming. Now, after he said, I'm going to make you disappear, we was like, fuck you, whatever, and didn't talk to him again. I'm leaving Howard's homecoming. I'm walking out from the field. It was a football thing going on. And an SUV pulls up next to me and says, "Hey, somebody wants to talk to you." Who? Roll on the window. It's Diddy. He goes, "You can't say hi." I said, "Say hi." Last time I talked to you, it was clear we weren't cool. You was throwing crazy shit out there. He was like, like he like brushed it off. And I was like, "What's up? Hi." And then he was like, and that's it. And then I've gone to events. There was my friend has invited me to a Super Bowl party at his house, but I brought KJ, my ex, with me. It was like a group, like hundreds of people. Like,
Yeah.
there was no interaction with him. I just was at the party, whatever. But that's before we heard all this wild stuff. Like, I just knew of him being a dick back then to me over pictures. I thought he was overreacting. But basically in the trial, our mom was saying that Mia was saying that there was some situation that they had to put a fire out where Kathy was mad at him or thinking he was cheating, because the headline was, not saying it was me, there's probably a whole bunch of other girls, but the headline that I got involved in said, "Diddy leaves Kathy for Deal or No Deal model Claudia Jordan." I was like, get this shit off. This is not true. It is not true. Like, you take a picture with someone, they say you with them.
Yeah.
But anyways, I will share them on this show. It will be exclusive on our show here. Maybe next week. We'll see.
Okay. All right.
By no means am I trying to insert myself in this trial. I do not. I have nothing to do with it. It was a long time ago, and that's that. So I but I thought it was like interesting, like the way she described him in the way, similar. And then, you have your interactions with Cassie and all that. So we're like 3 degrees away from this trial, aren't we, Erica?
I know. I feel I'm getting to your status. I call you the Forrest Gump, because like everything that's happened, you've been somewhere around it. I'm like, maybe I have like a Janae in me or something.
I'm telling you, Black female Forrest Gump. So you are my Black female Forrest Gump. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to be Bubba, but
you know what? Bubba was the guy. Bubba invested money in Apple. He had Bubblegum Shrimp.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Bubblegum Enterprises. Bubblegum.
You know what? I will be Bubba. I take that back.
Forrest was the face and got all the glory, but really, Bubba was the one.
That's true. That is true. Well,
Damon,
what are your feelings about, because obviously there were a lot of celebrities names that have come up in this trial. So how do you feel about that? Like, what do you think that is? Is that a way to conflate like celebrity in general? Is it like to deter from the case? What's your thoughts?
I think people are just so thirsty they love to see a takedown of people, right? Now, to me, Diddy deserves a takedown. I feel like he's done a lot of vicious stuff in his life. But then there's some people by proximity, just because they were at an event, at a party. Let's remember the environment before we found out about all the stuff about him. He was popping. He was king in the entertainment business. Nobody thought that all this wicked stuff happened. Like, hindsight is always 20/20. Oh, what were you doing there? What are you talking about? Everyone was there.
Yeah.
It was the hot ticket place to be. And it wasn't no funny business that we saw going on back then. Now, they tried it with that picture of J-Lo. They could have, come on now, J-Lo. Look at Prince being shady in the afterlife still. Prince is like, keep my name out your mouth.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just think that makes it more interesting. Like right now, the last, 10 years, like people have been obsessed with all things celebrity, and they love to build them up and then take them down. They for the longest, they tried to bring Jay-Z into this mess and say, oh, he has to have something to do with it. Let's stick with who's actually, being charged.
Right.
Here,
Right.
What do you think about all the celebs? Do you think it's just to make it more salacious and interesting and clicks and views?
I do think that, I want to be realistic about this and say it's obvious that people knew more than they were letting on.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it is, if anything, a warning to people that you aren't 100% independent of something that someone in your circle is doing, especially if it's as known as what Diddy was doing. Like but then at the same time, if you're in the circle And clearly it was, like I said last week, like it sounds like a gang. It's like jump in, jump out, or jump in or disappear type thing. So I think a lot of people probably got in over their heads, but I do think it's a reminder that you should be mindful of the company that you keep in general, because there's just no way that if mud is slung, you're not going to get dirty.
That's true. And I don't think that all these things are happening like in total secrecy. There's definitely other people that knew. There's always a bodyguard that knows. There's always an assistant that knows. There's always someone that books the flights, cleans up the lube from the hotel room, the person that pays people off, that buys surveillance footage from hotels, that pays for abortions, that pays for antibiotics and goes and picks up the medication for all the STDs that were passed around, the person that helps set up the plastic surgery for Cassie to get her nose repaired, as well as Kim Porter. Okay. There's always that person, the people that know. So they may not have raised a hand to someone. They may not put the drugs in someone's drinks or baby oil, but there are people in the circle that made this possible. And that's why it's a RICO case. That's why it's a RICO case. And it's not just a domestic violence case. It's a RICO case.
Well, speaking of RICO, a lot of people because everyone's like, RICO. And where is it? I think we are seeing how they're stacking it up against him, because the whole story about the video that we just watched that was released by CNN of Diddy and Cassie and Intercontinental. Now we have the security guard who's come forward, obviously, because he had to, talking about what the circumstances were that led to Diddy obtaining that tape. And the idea that he was reached out to by Diddy's assistant, Christina, who apparently we saw more of her after Diddy apologized for that video. We saw them everywhere together.
Yeah.
I mean, mainly in his backyard, but we saw a lot of pictures. That's interesting because the security guard, Eddie, is on trial or is at the trial and reveals that Diddy paid him $100,000 cash in a brown paper bag for the USB to that video.
And said, are there no copies? And they said no, but someone did take a screen record of it to show their girlfriend. And that's what happened. And it wasn't all the way gone.
Right. Which is a little, I mean, it makes sense to me. I would assume that there would be more than one copy, but clearly Diddy paid him $100,000 for which he split with his supervisor and another guy. And that's setting up RICO on top of the arson with Kid Cudi's vehicle. So
the blackmail with Kathy's mom.
Yes. So I think there's a lot of details, but at the end of the day, the most important details of how they're setting up this case are still there.
Yep. And also, the Eddie Garcia thing is really interesting. But now Suge Knight is also speaking out from in prison. You know what's so funny? I've met Suge Knight several times. I actually like Suge, and I was scared of him like everybody else. But then I'm like, seems nice to me. It seemed like Suge Knight was maybe the good guy in all this, and Diddy was the real wicked one, right? So Suge Knight is calling on Diddy to testify to humanize himself. It's been a lot of drama at the courtroom. A Diddy fan was also removed from the courtroom after making a scene. Multiple celebs were mentioned during a former assistant's testimony, including Prince, Usher, and J-Lo. That, like you said, the names are definitely coming out. Of course, he was associated with everybody.
Right.
They said reportedly Usher saw Diddy punch Cassie and did nothing. Diddy allegedly beat up Cassie while attending a Prince party. And J-Lo would not stay out with Diddy and his assistant. So all these people saw things. So what do you do? Okay. Knowing what we know now about Diddy blowing up people's cars, getting people, causing harm to people, whooping people, putting people in the hospital, all kind of things. I mean, do you understand why people wouldn't say anything? Or are you of the thought of, no?
I totally understand why people wouldn't say anything. When you have been proven to be above the law as if you are the law and you have the means to do things that ordinary people don't have the means to do, that makes you a very dangerous person. I mean, you think of movies or shows where someone has like this power that no one can seemingly pierce. And you see, I mean, those things are not just made up in Hollywood. You
If
know,
you
a
see
lot
someone
of those.
getting away with stuff year after year after year, like you
Sure.
would, like, what is your little testimony going to do? Remember, hey, remember this. Remember when Shine went to prison for all those years
Yes.
for the nightclub shooting that Diddy was with J-Lo that night?
Mhm.
The woman has come out and said many times, Shine didn't shoot me. It was Diddy. Shot her in the face. Knowing your man, you were with him that night, shot someone in the face, got away with it, nothing ever happened to him. You see the scope, how far his tentacles go. You know what I mean? Like, he has people clearly in the police, New York Police Department, feds. He's got people on his side. Like,
Yeah.
you would be a little nervous, I would think.
Well, here's the thing too, because I've watched like every documentary on this that's out there, and the victim, and I apologize, I can't remember her name. She was actually on with Tisa. That was the first time that I ever heard directly from her. And she recounts this story, and what everyone talks about from the documentaries to commentary is that her story has never changed, that she was shot in the face by Diddy. And everyone wants to make it seem like, well, that's obvious because he was wealthier, so it was a money grab. Really? When you get shot in the face, that's what you're thinking about is a money grab?
When you're rich, you can, or celebrity, you really can get away with a lot of like, well, you know, it's everyone's just trying to come up. That's why I hate when people do things just to come up, because it makes it harder for real victims. But damn it, it was right there in our face. It was right there. Like, he blew up Kid Cudi's car. He shot a woman in the face. He beat up Cassie in front of multiple people. A lot of people saw this go down, and it's just coming out now. He's just being called to the carpet, and he might get off. He might get off, y'all.
I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Also, I mean, obviously there's the whole theory that Trump would pardon him. You know, there's a lot of talk, but I do think about J-Lo's story, because when you think about the demise of Diddy and J-Lo, it was that night.
Yeah, so she saw something.
Right. And when the recounting of the story happened in the documentary, I think the driver talks about, I believe it was a driver. He talks about how J-Lo's mother came to the precinct and that she was basically scolding J-Lo for being around this element, saying that she told her so, was how the documentary kind of like rolled it out. But if all of that hadn't happened, what would have been the tentacles in the J-Lo story?
Yeah.
Because essentially that story was so huge. And because of the trial and everything, that was essentially her escape. And she moved on to the next thing. So I mean, obviously everyone would like to hear from J-Lo, but in terms of how that timing and how she ended up getting out, because it just sounds like everybody else is just unable to get out.
Diddy done made J-Lo leave brothers alone. She went right back to the Mexicans and Puerto Ricans and Dominicans after that. She said, I am done with you Negroes. That's how scared she was. She said, you know what? My love does cost a thing, and I'm not about to do this with you no more.
Yeah.
She was definitely, Black adjacent as far as entertainment. You know, she's a fly girl. She was in Live in Color. She was kind of playing with the hip hop vibe and area of music. And she took her ass right on back to mainstream after that, never to be seen with the Black man ever again, because something that happened that night that was probably so scary, and the whole everything surrounding that. No, Jamie Foxx, there's been a lot of talk about Jamie Foxx and when he fell ill, and people believe there was a whole conspiracy theory going around that Diddy was somehow responsible for Jamie taking ill, and perhaps he was poisoned, some jokes that he made. Let's take a little listen to this.
And Diddy crazy, huh? I don't know if he's going to jail, but he's a nasty. Am I right? Especially for arguments. Or white people, yeah, it's cool, but Black people like, that was our hero. All that goddamn baby oil, boy.
So I'm going to be honest. I was really hoping that Jamie would go a little bit harder in his comedy special on that whole side of it. But I'm glad, and I had theories as to why that didn't happen. So I'm glad he's continuing to talk about it. I do want to just flag this comment because Tamara B says, yes, no one is listening to her. She said it was him, all because he makes good records. Are we that shallow? Thank you for your super chat, Tamara, from Canada. I think it says CA. So I wanted to get that in there because we do appreciate y'all's support, informers. I love Jamie Foxx. I know you know Jamie Foxx.
We used to be really good friends, but he
Yeah.
got mad at me about commenting on one of his relationships. I said he was happy, and I got banished.
Oh no. My mom just called me like a week ago and was like, you know who you should have on your show? Jamie Foxx. And I was thinking, Mom, and I go, you know, he and Claudia know each other, used to work together, right?
He was like family to me. And you know, I think a lot of people put 10 on 20. I was asked on a podcast about him and Katie Holmes, and I said, you know, my friend's happy and happy for him. Next question, and moved on. But then the next day, the media put 10 on 20 and was like, Claudia Jordan confirmed secret. I'm like, I didn't confirm no secret relationship. I said my friend's happy and move on. And it made it worse. And it kind of, I think at that time, a lot of people were being messy, and blogs were really kind of the beginning of blogs really blowing up. And he's probably irritated with like, goddamn, like who's leaking my stuff? It wasn't me.
Yeah.
But there are people that be running their mouth in his camp. And it's sad, but I still have great love for him, great respect for him. He's, I think, very talented, one of the best storytellers out there. And we've had a couple conversations since, and we've, you know, said it's squashed. But when people ask me about it, but yeah, if Diddy did do something to this man, may he rot in hell for that. You know, Jamie's a national treasure, beyond talented, great dad. And now with all the stuff that's coming out, like nothing is beyond the pale. Like nothing is like unbelievable. Like, you know what I mean? But I think he wants to be like, hey, it has nothing to do. That's not true. Let's move on. Because conspiracy theories they can mess up your life, actually.
Yeah.
You know,
well, yeah.
But
it's hard to get that stank off of you.
It is. Hopefully Diddy is convicted. If Diddy's convicted, I think a lot of people right now, like they're talking more than they've ever. But we're not free and clear yet. He still could get, all he needs is one juror. He needs one juror, right? Here's
the thing about this, because a lot of people have mentioned this, like, what if he gets off, or what if Trump pardons him? And are people going to be safe? I think in that regard, especially because this has been such a public trial, they were safer than they ever have been. I mean, if something happened to a witness who testified, like there's going to be a ton of scrutiny on that. People are going to be waiting for the next shoe to drop. So it would behoove him, if he were, in fact, you know, found not guilty or pardoned, to not go after people.
That's right.
I mean, there's other ways to try to punish people, but at the same time, that's a lot. I mean, where do you even start at this point?
Speaking of punishing people, great segue here. Cardi B said, hold my beer, Offset. Offset made a comment. Now they're going through a messy divorce, and he has been known to cheat on her multiple times, right? With a dummy. And he once said to Cardi, you're a mom, baby mama. You have 3 kids. Don't nobody want you. No one's going to want you after this. She said, hold my beer. Now, reportedly, she is spending time with NFL player Stefon Diggs. He's very flamboyant. He's fashionable. I think he matches her, like, I don't know, personality. Well, no one matches Cardi's personality, but he's got a lot of personality. And they seem to be having a good time. They've made no official announcement, but they've definitely been out there. Well, Offset is crashing out in real time online as we speak. He deleted his Instagram because Cardi and Offset's beautiful son Wave got his hair done braided, right? And Stefon Diggs has the same exact braid pattern. I don't know who did it first, but they look damn near they look very, very similar. Would you think? Would you say?
Yes, it's inspo. I would definitely say what I asked for versus what I got is a success.
Are you saying Stefon is the Temu version of Wave? saying?
No, I think it's very likely that if her son had seen his hair, you know how kids are like, I want my hair done like that, or I want this to look like that. You know, I mean, it's a hairstyle. It's temporary. They're braids. They're only going to last X amount of time. Like,
Right.
I know that people feel like this was a very strategic, like coordinated attack on Cardi B's behalf. If it is, I'm not even mad.
I'm not mad either. It might not even be. It might be a coincidence that, okay, look at me and you, Erica. We both have our hair parted on this side with subtle, like it's a light brown, both of us. Related to, we're cousins, not sisters, right?
Yeah.
The hairstyles are similar, but I don't know if it was like on purpose, but it sure is fun for the internet. So the game posted a meme of Stefon Diggs' hair and said, if I send you this, no, I know you ain't gonna do nothing about it. So now it's become a meme. I love when people get calm, but you know, it's okay for Offset to have multiple women, to make music videos and to make videos actually for just the gram, grabbing on other women's booties, talking trash about their mama, doing all these things. But it's braids that is Cardi going too far. Really? I think it was a cute way to get you back. Cute.
It really does do something to my spirit and makes me so like feel very cringy, because the idea that a man could be with a woman, leave her, or do something to, interrupt, disturb, or diminish that relationship, move on, be so public about it. But it's as though if they were together, a part of her will always be his. Like, that is creepy on a different type of level. Like,
Yeah.
and I really want people to understand what the intention is behind that sentiment, because it's a very dangerous sentiment. By spending more time talking about the fact that Cardi B's son has the same hairstyle as her boyfriend and making it seem like that's the big headline or that's the scandal is really telling to young women who may feel like, yes, I was with with my partner and now we're no longer together, but like, you know what? He does own a part of me. No, he doesn't own any part of you. And the idea that he would imply that by doing and crashing out in the way that Offset's crashing out over Cardi B is disturbing.
And as one of our informers is informing us, S. Clark says Wave's hairstyle is months old, and Upset, they call them Upset, is trying to find a reason to crash out. He is fighting the air like Cuba Gooding Jr. Boys, look.
It's weird. It is weird.
So that makes it even funnier that the hairstyle that Wave did was first and months ago, and then maybe Stefon was the one being petty, but now y'all blaming Cardi for it. Bettina Lessa says, I think it's messy. Nicole T says, we're going to let Offset rest in his femininity. She also says Offset hasn't been right since the death of his bandmate. And Bettina Lessa also says they need to focus on their children. Anthony Buchanan says, do y'all think Cardi is done with Offset? By all means. I think Cardi is done. I think Offset is not. And Bettina also says the hairstyle is beautiful. Listen, Linda. Cardi B told you in her first and most classic body of work, her album, she made a song, right? Was it the first album called Be Careful? Be careful. It was a warning. If you fumble me, you're not going to like what's going to happen next. And Cardi, for a long time, people were like, she's dumb. She's taking it back. She wasn't dumb. She wasn't love. A lot of women do it, but y'all be critical of people that are famous, even though your mamas do it, your aunties do it, and you've done it. Okay. So
what's Cardi's sign? Let me find.
She's a Libra.
Okay. Yeah. See here, this is where, okay, I've completely lost my whole thing. This is where people get it really messed up, because there are certain signs. I'm like this. I can take a lot, like far more than I really should, in terms of like looking the other way, letting things go. And it's very confusing to people because oftentimes the first strike to maybe the third strike of something that I'm like, I don't know about that. I don't know how I feel. That felt like it was teetering on the line of disrespect. And then it's like, a few things happen and I'm very cool about it because the truth is the majority of the time that this is happening, I don't think people realize how high my self-esteem actually is. Because I know that if I strike back 9 out of 10 times in situations like that, I know I'm punching down. So what I am going to do or respond is going to be very hurtful and destructive to the person who is trying me. Now, generally, those are situations where there's some type of interpersonal relationship. I haven't experienced, well, I should say, in my marriage, I have never experienced that, which is the reason why we're married. But in past relationships, I certainly did experience things like that, and in friendships. And what happens is when you get fed up, which your threshold is so much higher, but the wrath is so much stronger. So people really do get blindsided and taken aback by the idea that someone that is put up with a lot of their nonsense would be able to so swiftly and really without very little effort just dismantle you from the top down. And that's why people need to be very careful with the quiet ones, the people who have a higher band, a longer threshold, because when that comes full circle to you, you may not be able to recover. And that's what we're seeing with Offset right now. Cardi's threshold is clearly higher than the average bear. And now the way that she is going through, it's methodical, it's seamless, it's without breaking a sweat.
She's not stupid.
No.
She was emotional in the beginning, but she's not stupid. And you can tell that Cardi is definitely that, not to quote R. Kelly, but when a woman's fed up, like she has that look where there's no getting her back at this point. When he embarrassed her way too many times and she's a public figure, and then she has to deal with like the opposing rappers, fan bases, people that are critics of hers, like taunting her. So it's a lot different and a lot easier to get over that. Like, you're like, you know what? I don't need this, And he played in her face with bum girls too. Like date, like, when you're gonna date these skanks, these scallywags, right? These dusties, not all of them, but I'm sorry. If you're a girl that's okay with being the side girl to a married man, then you're a scallywag. Everyone knows Offset is with Cardi. Like, knock it off, ladies. You all knew. So yeah, and when you get away with so much, I think a lot of men that I'm friends with, they think, oh, I can get her back. Like, whenever I want, all I have to do is go say sorry, just bring her a gift, and I can get her back like I've always been able to in the past. But when you get to that point where it's a wrap, it's a wrap. And it's a wrap.
Really is. Here, I have a question for you, Claudia. Why is it that when a couple breaks up, Cardi and Offset, why is it that Offset goes with somebody that isn't up to the same standard in terms of like success or, the things that Cardi has that make her so great? Why don't men try to like achieve that type of level? Like, women do it because women are like, I will never do that again. Because it seems to me like Cardi upgraded and Offset downgraded. Why?
They often do. He can't. And I agree with Shot, because he can't. He can't. Who else is going to have him? So a woman on Cardi's level and higher has witnessed the cheating, the blatant disrespect, the lies, the recklessness with his penis. So why would anyone else, like, we're like, oh, we good. You cheated on Cardi, you definitely, you can't come over here. Like, you're not doing that to me. And also, I think another reason, I don't think he wants a girl on that level. I think, and me and my friends have been talking about this, we want to do a discussion about this. A lot of successful women are penalized for their success. I guarantee you, Cardi blowing up in the course of their relationship had a lot to do with the demise of their marriage. He had to feel big again and seen. So how does he do that with a superstar, one of the most famous people in the world? Let me go date a bunch of 3s, 4s, and 5s that look at me like I'm a god, because I don't feel like I'm looked at as a god by my wife. Now, she may still be looking at you like that, but you don't see it for yourself because you're insecure.
Right.
So, like, a lot of times men will have a good woman. Oh, like some of the women that were on our trip that were very successful, and then they'll go with some Instagram thought, right? Or with some like girl that's nowhere near status wise, success wise, even beauty wise, because this woman is like, oh my God, you saved me. You can pay a car payment. Oh my God. And a woman that's busy and got her own stuff, not that she doesn't appreciate it, but you have to come correct a little bit more with her. And, I see that happen all the time. They leave the woman that has, like, you think is like on this level, and they give it a bum bitch. And then they feel like the man again. And now their self-esteem is built back up. I bet you he tells these girls so much bad shit about Cardi. She's never there. She doesn't listen to me. She's too busy. She works too hard. I just feel emasculated. No, you probably feel it amongst yourself. That's a self thing.
Yeah.
So yes, Christine said he could have played his position like ASAP Rocky, but he took the dummy route. ASAP Rocky, though, seems a lot more secure in his place.
Yes.
Like, in his status, and he loves being a dad.
Well, also ASAP Rocky has a portfolio.
Yes.
Like a diversified portfolio. And I think that's what a lot of like successful, upwardly mobile women, sometimes that's not on your radar, because one, you're like leading with your heart, which is great. Lead with your heart. But also, if you have a portfolio and you have a diverse base of different ways that you make money, that you navigate the world, you really need to be finding someone who can be your equal on that, because I don't know how else you get past that piece of like the man not feeling like the man. I do want to get to RHOA because I have something that just kind of happened.
Okay, let's get into the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now, of course, Real Housewives of Atlanta is back, and the ratings at an all-time low. And you know who's loving it? Kenya Moore. Kenya commented on a post from a fan, and it is telling. Erica, is the ratings done? Is it just a fluke, or will it get worse? What do you think?
So I'm very into reality television, as you know, and I don't see this being a red flag situation. I think that it's very difficult to just dissect ratings in general. I do think that Phaedra's return is not necessary. And I think that people were anticipating the ratings being higher because she was returning.
Waste of a salary. Oh, that blonde hair. I cannot do it.
I really was not here for, and I know we're not going to get all into, if you want to hear Claudia's commentary on Real Housewives of Atlanta, it's great on Monday Night Live with Carlos King and Dustin Ross. Shout out to both of them. I love listening to y'all on Mondays. But I found it very interesting that Phaedra's first thing was to shade Angela about her face and how old her face looks, and that she was hoping that her spirit was more youthful. And then they flash back, like the editors nobody is shadier than the Bravo editor.
Oh my God, they had to look at all matronly and
oh my gosh. Flash back on Phaedra like that. And I was thinking also, that's what kind of piqued my interest, because Angela is a silent killer, like way more so than I believe Phaedra is capable of being. So I'm kind of hoping that she pokes the bear with Angela, because that would be something to absolutely see. But I do want to throw this in here. I'm going to give a shout out to another podcast, and it's called The Bravo Docket. Mm-hmm. I just want to say justice for Drew Sidora.
Oh my God, she's killing it. Killing it.
She's killing it, but also the Bravo Docket does deep dives on reality TV stars and their legal. And basically, they did the whole deep dive on Drew and Ralph. And the way that Ralph tried to frame it is if he should have been the one that was on guard, or that she should have been on the one that was on guard about their divorce being open.
She's the petitioner.
Drew was trying to protect his dumbass. And honestly, I listened to, it's like an hour and 10 minutes on the Bravo Docket. It's like the second to last episode. Justice for Drew Sidora.
I agree. And they're really trying to make it like the ganging up on Drew Sidora, like thinking that she's an easy target, It's so weak. Oh, by the way, I will be on the red carpet and on the stage of the BET Awards on Monday live with Drew Sidora.
Really?
Yes, we're presenting for our movie that's theatrical. So Phaedra, all this shit she was talking about, what is her career? She on Soul Train and Tubi movies. Our theatrical release is August 29th. Try to get a ticket to go to the premiere. Go through your publicist. But it will be in theaters, and Drew does her thing in this movie. She kills it. Kills it. She's really good. The movie's called Run, directed by Chris Stokes. Marcus Houston's in it. My girl Annie Alonso stars in it. Erica Mena, Erica Pinkett, Drew Sidora, myself. Bomb-ass movie. Horror. Yes. In theaters. Now, check that.
Okay, August 29th, you said.
You want to come to the premiere?
I want to come.
Okay. We have one in LA, I think Atlanta, and I think New York. So
I will take Poughkeepsie.
Okay. So Phaedra, don't shade Drew about career, and don't shade Angela about looks. But the youthful thing was like really the gag, because like Phaedra, you look the most you look like the oldest young lady that was on the show, and that's being kind. Like the style wasn't hitting, the clothes, the hair, the everything just looks very old lady-ish. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but just like I said, if you have a deficiency in an area, maybe stay away from that. Listen, I wear cheap ass clothes all the time. Okay. So I'm not going to come for someone's designer stuff, because I don't really, that ain't my strong suit. I'll look stupid. But what I can come for you is intelligence, smart ass mouth, bomb ass perfect skin, work ethic, and class. Okay. That's why my strong suits lie in my honesty. So if you're weak in an area, maybe try shutting the fuck up and don't bring attention to that, because now we're forced to say, well, look at you, and pull your footage, pull that beautiful bean footage that it wasn't so beautiful, looking like an old lady, old church lady. I don't really practice.
You know, I do not go for women's looks. Like I would never, but it's like you open that door.
She asked for it.
To say, I was like,
Angela looks good though.
Angela's a beautiful woman. She's another Chicago girl, like Drew. That is so crazy. I didn't even know that you were doing the movie with her. I know, and also BET Awards again on Monday.
Yeah, Monday.
Red carpet. Yeah. Congratulations. That's amazing. I love that.
Yeah, we'll be on stage and they'll show a trailer. I think they're going to show a trailer of our film, and that's going to introduce the world to the movie Run. And it starts off as Girls Trip and becomes this whole plot twist. So yeah,
I love it. I'm so proud of you. That's amazing.
I don't know if my dress is gonna make it. I ordered a dress a few days ago, and I don't think it's gonna make it. So you might see me in some fashion over on the red carpet, because I ain't got it.
No, it's in LA. We're gonna find somebody to dress you if your dress doesn't make it. Why? Oh, LA. Okay,
I already got my nails done, ready to go with the chrome tips. I'm ready to go, and then I don't know.
Cute. We're finding someone to dress you, Claudia. There's no way. No.
I know. I ordered like a few days, and I've been trying to reach them. Like, can you please expedite my order and change the shipping address to LA? I don't know. Also, my niece graduates this weekend. My beautiful niece, Sophia Jordan. So I will be going home for that. Real quick, we don't want to leave the show, end the show without sending our prayers and condolences. I'm sorry, sending our prayers to Real Housewives of Atlanta alum Dwight Eubanks, who revealed he has prostate cancer. Do you know Dwight?
Yes, the fashions. Who has a fashion show without the fashion?
Iconic. So our thoughts are with him. We hope you can fight this, and you will get through this, and we send you positive energy. And it was, and also another person that's battling cancer, Manyetta Shaw, that was a friend of the show of Housewives. I know her, and she's beautiful, cool woman. And she recently revealed that she was diagnosed with breast cancer as well. So we want to send our thoughts and prayers and healing energy to Dwight and Manyetta as well.
Yeah, she is such a sweetheart. I've never met her personally, but we've interacted a little. And yeah, it's just, for anyone listening to this, if you're able to go and get your regular checkups, please find a way. There are clinics, there are places, if you don't have the resources, just to stay proactive, because the biggest thing about your health is being proactive.
That's right. That's right. Well, we didn't have time to get to the pardons of Tory Lanez and reality stars, the Chrisleys, whatever. But we will talk about that. Should we talk about that next week? Trump is so ghetto.
I know, but you know, the story's going to switch before next week. Let me say this though. Next week, I am so excited because we have Anwar White, who is your fairy godbrother. He is a renowned dating coach for Black and brown women. If you've never seen his content, it is amazing. It's engaging and it's very informative. So informers, if you are single or if you know a single person you want to help, definitely be here next week because we're going to be taking some questions. We're going to be asking him questions and we're going to get Claudia some advice.
Oh my God. I have been so away from dating. Real quick story. I know we have to go. A guy that I used to deal with, well, that I know, right? That we've played, reached out to me and says, my friend is interested in your friend, Chancey. He's actually texting me right now. And I was like, okay. So we get them on a FaceTime and he's like, first Chancey talks to my friend and he's selling him how he's a good one and he don't mind hopping on a flight. And it was like, you know what? We're both going to come to Dallas and we're coming. I knew my friend wasn't going to come, but the other guy seemed so gung-ho. He sought her out.
Right.
He put the word out there that he wanted to meet her. So they have this whole conversation and we're like, you're not going to show up. You're not going to come. I'll be there Wednesday night. I'll be there. Do you know it was okay, cool, next Wednesday. So we'll all go to dinner, whatever. Do you know he never hit her back? Not even to say, hey, it was great to meet you. Let's talk about. And my friend didn't even hit me back. So I need to know what is with all this flakiness, this non-committal, can't even commit to a text back after it was your idea. So now she's like, don't forget about it. Like, it's too late now.
What?
Yes. He sought her out to ghost her. Targeted ghosting, I call it. I'm going to ask Anwar. I have questions.
There's something, it's almost like, it's like the predecessor to the guy who is just trying to like have sex with you. It's a conquest thing.
He
like,
ghosted her before he got to smash. He didn't even get to, my friend didn't even get to get disrespected and violated.
Well, he kind of did.
He preemptively ghosted her.
He disrespected her time. Maybe it's an issue. Maybe he can't do the other thing. So he just stops it there. Just a theory.
Disturb our peace. Leave us alone. If you can't follow up with one text, one phone call, you called your boy. Your boy called me, who I haven't talked to in a while. We talked about it. Hey, I'm like, let's get them on the phone. She's on her way over right now. We do a group FaceTime. Great conversation. The energy is good. The chemistry is good. Make a date to come out here today. Yes, Christine R says, dang, Chancey's going to end up being a lesbian. She's got one foot in the door, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. But look at Tamara B. He's in a relationship.
When they're really adamant about something, and and all the sense of urgency, then they go ghost. It's usually like they got back with their girl, or maybe the girl had a trip planned and she can't. I agree. We're gonna ask all these questions. So I tell y'all the story to please go to our Accidentally Informed Instagram page and leave your comments and questions for Anwar, like what you want answered, and we'll ask him because I want to know why this guy did this to my friend.
Yeah, I do too, and he has good answers. So yeah, while you're leaving your comments or your questions for Anwar next week, also make sure that you like and subscribe because our numbers, thank you informers, our numbers keep going up. Y'all are really here supporting. So we appreciate you as always.
Happy birthday to Armand Wiggins. His birthday was yesterday. Happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Armand.
He's doing his thing. So yeah. All right. All right. This has been Accidentally. Wait, let's do it better. How do we do it? This has been Accidentally Informed, where
we can't guarantee you'll learn something, but you definitely just might.
We'll see you next time, ladies and gentlemen.
Put it on, girl. Let me see it. Put it on, girl. Let me see it.